Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Georgia's scrimmage over the weekend, what happens at Dog Post, and I don't think this is different with any of the other folks that cover the dogs. Uh, and this is a pretty competitive marketplace, um, and people do a good job of covering the team. Is that you don't immediately get information about a scrimmage. That just doesn't happen. But over the last 48 hours, we've had a chance over at Dog Post to grab some more information, some more data, I guess you could say. And it didn't change tons and tons about what we reported over on the site, but it did give a little bit more insight into what we're heading into on G Day and where everybody's at. Going to focus primarily on the quarterbacks during this discussion and take it from there. I want to remind everybody they can pick up DAWGSTRUCTION with the link below. Speaking of quarterbacks, Stetson Bennett and company in here for sure. Great shot of Stetson and Jordan Davis. And I will be, more importantly, so you can pick up DAWGSTRUCTION link below. More importantly, I want everybody to come to Red Zone, which is on Clayton Street. And the group there has done a great job of helping us. This is a legitimate bag that I bought something in for my daughter, who is nothing but trouble. But as you can see, there's the information on Clayton downtown, not that far from the cross section of Clayton and College Avenue, which is where I spent my youth, um, certainly on the weekends in Athens, growing up. We're about to go sideways here. The scrimmage was no major injuries that I'm aware of as of Monday. I think we would have heard about that by now. Um, and I think that a couple of things I want to touch on were, like I said, the quarterbacks. It sounds, before I talk about the quarterbacks, so it does sound more and more, if you read what we've got, what we were hearing, which I'll try to include that in the link down below, that defensively, Georgia, one of the big things that came out of it was where was Amarius Mims? That was one thing, but we've discussed that quite a bit. Um, Here's what Kirby said before the scrimmage about Stetson. He said he's been really consistent here this spring. He's been very comfortable when things break down. He doesn't have to go make a play like he used to think he had to. He makes a good throw or he runs the ball. Those are two positive things that Stetson's done. He's been really consistent this spring doing that. He does not have the snafus that he used to have just because he tried to force the ball. He hasn't done that. That is a big, big deal. He did do that a lot. Remember the 2020 Alabama game. Another person that we talked to, when I pointed that part out to them, said, in a little language here, said, I think what Kirby's trying to say is that we haven't seen some of that bizarro shit we used to we saw in the past, really in 2020, that Stetson did. It sounds like there was another good day for Dominique Blaylock. Eric Gilbert is going to be the guy that we need to pay attention to the most, and I know everybody watching this will. He is the most curious thing coming out of this uh, spring game because with Gilbert, um, there has been so much positive momentum since leaving LSU and taking the semester off. It's sort of a whole year of not football, basically, right? But he does need to get into shape, football shape. And football shape's not the same as basketball shape, but we used to get out of shape. I mean, you get out of shape if you're not playing, you can't play. I mean, it takes a long time to get back ready. And with Eric Gilbert, that's going to be the thing. Is can he get into shape by September in the way that they need him? Because he's going to be an important part of this offense. If anything that's going on in the spring is an indication. Another thing that folks told us was at linebacker, Xavier Sorey and Dumas Johnson are the guys to pay attention to there. I know that with Sorey, there was a lot of optimism in the recruiting world about him coming out and coming into Georgia. Uh, but Dumas Johnson has been the person that folks have talked about the most this spring. At the scrimmage, Those two guys, I'm bringing people up because they were pointed out to us. I think talking about Eric Gilbert, I'm going to be watching Oscar Delp as well. I mean, when you look at the tight ends, you've got Darnell is out, you've got Brock Bowers out, you've got your two legit uh, playmakers out. So what does that mean for a tight end for Ryan Goody and Seether? What does it mean for Oscar Delp, who I think has had a good but up and down at times scrimmage? Someone said that Delp had a couple of very good catches during the scrimmage. Nothing anybody's jumping up and down about or anything like that. I think one thing when you start talking about the offensive line, because the tight ends makes me think about the offensive line, is what we see at the spring is not necessarily what we're going to see in the fall because you don't have Tate Ratledge. I think Tate Ratledge will be a starter for Georgia in the fall. I just don't know where. And even with the departure of Amarius Mims, you have a slew of highly gifted guys fighting for those 5 spots. Warren Erickson has been a starter for a national championship team. Xavier Truss has started in this program. Warren McClendon has been a multi-year starter. So has Cedric Van Pran. Those two are probably the key to this thing. But we hear a lot about Willock. We hear a lot about Blasky. Obviously, Jones has come a long way. I want to see what we get with Fairchild as well as Morris. Those two Georgia natives, one from South Georgia and one from North Atlanta. I want to see what you get there too during G-Day. With the scrimmage, I think there was a lot of discussion of Stetson Bennett really looks very comfortable. This is the way one person put it to us. Stetson Bennett commands his team, and it's his to lose. Um, I'm not going to necessarily participate in the discussion of Stetson Bennett could lose the starting position because I just don't buy that, barring injury. I don't think that Carson and Brock Vandagriff have played well enough to depose Stetson from the starting gig. One thing that I think is, for Brock Vandagriff, someone said he has the skills, but he's still a puppy. I think, thank you for ordering DAWGSTRUCTION. That's what you just heard in the background. You can pick that up with the link down below. With Carson, I think, I want to see what Carson does against Oregon. I want to see what Carson does in the second game, and I want to see what he does against South Carolina because it's clear, if you want to put it that way, from the scrimmages and so forth, that Carson has positioned himself to be in the best position to take the starting role in 2023 when Stetson goes to full retirement, not just collecting Social Security like he is right now. Um, but we're going to have to see. I mean, I want to see Brock Vandagriff too, because having watched those guys play in high school and watched Brock more, there are things that you could see major flashes with those guys. And I just am very curious to see how it goes because there's not been a lot of turnovers in these scrimmages. There's only been 2 scrimmages. The first scrimmage didn't have only had one turnover. I'm not aware of a turnover in this one, but I'm sure there were. There just wasn't a lot of discussion about them. So, but I think for Vandagriff, this is about accuracy, improving, etc. Gunnar Stockton's got to get used to college life and get used to playing college football. That will be the challenge for him. And right now won't be a great uh, barometer of where he's at. Well, it'll be a barometer of where he's at, not necessarily where he's going. So Stetson had a really, another really good performance, very in control. as this person says, he commands the team and it's his to lose. I don't think he's going to lose the starting position by any stretch. Keely Ringo was said to have a good day as well. I think the weather was a little tricky. If you were watching the Masters at all, you saw how nasty Friday and Saturday were in Georgia, well, in Augusta. Athens is not that far from Augusta. I can assure you of that. So that was a challenging thing. Other thing I'm going to watch for, I know I'm talking about the scrimmage, but moving forward to G Day, the specialists. I mean, Jack Podnesley, I think we know what he can do. Where is Georgia going to be at punter? How are they really going to figure that out? That's an important position for the Dogs, and we'll just see what happens. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at Red Zone, noon to 7 on Friday, 9 to 12 on Saturday. Hey, thanks for watching us. I really appreciate everybody buying the book and supporting us over on the website. We'll see you over there.